Sahana vavatu sahanau bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Maya Panchakam. Panchaka means a quintet, however you call it. A group of verses that are 5 in number. Exactly as many days of the camp. So, that is of course one reason for choosing it. But then there are many panchakas. So many panchakas are there which could have been chosen. There is what? Sadhana Panchakam. Again another set of verses about what is the sadhana for readiness, adhikaritvam, preparation for atmajnana. Then there is Manisha Panchakam, the famous Adi Shankara's purported encounter with the surprise Chandala. Yeah. Chandala, who was actually a scholar and a jnani. Surprise encounter. Manisha Panchakam. Then what else do we have? Kashi Panchakam. Kaupina Panchakam. The ode to the loin cloth. It's not an ode to the loin cloth. It's the ode to Vairagya, also called Yati Panchakam. Kashi Panchakam has been designed to take away all desire for going here, going places. Kashi means she who is of the nature of the shining one, which is nothing other than Atma, Chit. So that Kashika, because the word Kash means to shine. So the word Kashi is the shining one. So the real shining one is oneself alone. Kashi Panchakam. So these are the few Panchakams I can just list off the top of my head. But then we have Maya Panchakam. Many reasons why I thought this would be a appropriate text. So the first reason is what Swamiji mentioned in the morning class, in the earlier class. And what is that? That is the reason for understanding the Gita is what? Knowing Ishwara as the truth of oneself. As the truth of oneself is remembered, Ishwara is forgotten. And as Pujya Swamiji would always say, there is no bypassing Ishwara. There is no bypassing Ishwara, and Swami Sakshatji also made that very clear. Because if this whole world is nothing but Ishvara, then the whole idea of settling accounts means there is problem with everybody and everything. If there is no problem with one person, let us say, then if somebody says, I don't have a problem with this person, then what I will say is that please remain with that person for a few more days, few more hours, few more months, few more years, the problem will come. The space of neutrality is extremely, very narrow. That is until you go out to dinner with them or spend some time with them, and then the asuya that we heard about in the earlier class comes out to play. This is what happens. And so therefore, the Ishvara must be understood, and that is the purport of the 9th chapter. And then this how is this Ishwara connected to this Maya, what is this Maya, etc., is there is a lot of obfuscation in the minds, and so that is the second reason to, that is the main reason to take up this topic. The second reason is that just like the word God, which has so many meanings, depending on who you ask, what is God, what will come out of their mouth, for the most part is just odd, okay? G silent. It won't be God. How the Upanishad reveals, it will not be that at all, because we don't know, because the concept of God by various philosophers, various religions, various theologies has been pushed down many people's throat with a stick. And when somebody says, I do not believe in God, what they are actually saying is, I do not believe in my version of what I think is God. And same thing, the person who says, I believe in God, what are they saying? I believe in my own version of what I think is Ishwara, what I think is God. The Upanishads, Vedanta, in general, dismisses this problem completely, bypasses this problem by declaring Ishvara to not be a matter for belief, but a subject matter for understanding. An understanding that is so crucial to removing sorrow and fear. Shoka nivritti, bhaya nivritti. This is what Ishvara is. So Ishvara has to be understood, and it has to be assimilated. That understanding has to be assimilated. And so therefore the topic of Maya gains a great importance, because just like the word God, the word Maya has also suffered through many iterations, most of them in common parlance and most of them which are frankly wrong. What are some of the understandings, or should I say misunderstandings? One thing we have is Maya is illusion. Illusion. The word illusion itself is illusory. What do we mean by illusion? Some kind of and even in Sanskrit, in common Sanskrit also it is used like that. A magic show is also called Maya, Indrajala. Indrajala or Maya, and the magician is called Mayavi, the one who has the secret to this Maya. So that doesn't help matters, because even in common parlance these words are used. Something that happens magically, that is one common understanding, Maya. And somebody pulls something out of the air. In the Mandukya Upanishad there is a beautiful rendition of an ancient Indian rope trick. So the rope is made to stand up through some incantations, and this person goes up, and then there is some kind of a warfare and everything, and then the rope is cut down and the person is also cut up into pieces, but then somehow falls to the ground, is no longer cut up in pieces and rises up intact. This is called Maya. And then coming closer home, when we talk about Sanatana Dharma and philosophy, there also a lot of misunderstandings abide, which make it very important for us to understand what this Maya is. And these misunderstandings really affect not only our understanding of Vedanta, deeply affect our understanding and assimilation of Vedanta, but they also affect the day-to-day relationship between men and women, strangely enough. Women are seen as Maya and as some kind of an impediment to the men who were birthed by women, but that's a different story, but then who want to leave everything and then go to the Himalayas, and women are seen as temptresses. This is not just in the Hindu tradition. In every tradition, there is this kind of a understanding or a misunderstanding. And so, this is not the Shastra. This is not the Upanishad. Even though the word Maya is feminine, it must not be mistaken for woman. Feminine is there, grammatically feminine. And since Maya is associated with the creative power of Bhagavan, therefore feminine, because that which creates what we see in the world is the feminine power. So therefore it's not Maya is woman and Ishwara is man, and the Maya is coming in the way. No. This is a misunderstanding. And we'll see all that in detail. So the first reason to understand Maya is because without Maya, the understanding of Ishvara is not just incomplete, is flawed. Then the second reason is to rid our buddhis of the various kinds of notions about Maya that are abiding in the popular imagination, that have an abiding presence, that have proliferated so deeply that it is actually very, very difficult to remove. And this, because of this, we cannot have Sarvatma Bhava, which is a prasada of Atma Jnanam. Sarvatma Bhava means being able to see everything as an extension of oneself, as an extension of Bhagavan, which is an extension of oneself. This is Sarvatma Bhava. Sarvam Atma eva, Sarvatma. So that which is there, Sarvam, that which I know, that which I don't know, is Sarvam. And all this is myself alone. And that is the final iteration, the final expression of the well ascertained, well assimilated self-knowledge. That we can never have if this divide between men and women and thinking of women as Maya is firmly entrenched in the heart. Certain things are learned, certain things are picked up, and just because it is the majority opinion, it does not make it right. In the 6th century or 7th century, I forgot, when the physicist, the first one to say that the earth was not flat like a chapati but round, was Ptolemy. P silent, Ptolemy. When Ptolemy said that, his view was so ahead of his times that everybody just did not take that at all. It was contrary to what they thought was the religious beliefs of that time. It was contrary to the popular imagination. It was contrary to everything. So what did they do to the poor fellow? Any ideas? Burnt him at stake. Then, few centuries later, Galileo came around. He came along, and then when he was able to say this, the people were able to assimilate that later. So just because many people believe that the earth, you cannot go too far because you will fall off, that does not make it right. That is what is the prasada of self-enquiry, Atma Vichara. And that is why that the ascertainment of this knowledge is beyond all categories. Good. And then what is the opposite of that? Hello, show at least one sign of life. Yeah. Good, bad. Nice, not nice. Happy, sad. Dharma, adharma. All these things. This is what has to be crossed. Because these divisions keep us in thrall of Atma Ajnana. In the thrall means in the captivity of Atma Ajnanam. So if Atma Ajnanam, self-ignorance, is a jail, the bars of the jail are what? These vicissitudes of the good, bad, oppositional thinking. Those are the bars of the cage. And then if I find myself trapped in this cage of oppositional thinking, then what is it that I have to do? What is it that I have to do? I have to look beyond that. This is exactly what Nachiketa was astute enough to ask Dharmaraja, Lord Yama. Anyatra dharmat, anyatra adharmat, anyatra asmat kritat akritat, anyatra bhutat cha bhavyat cha, yat pashyasi tad vada. And in fact, I'll translate this presently, but listening to him, Lord Yama was so overcome and awed that he uses so many verses to praise him. Because he saw through those divisions that keep us in captivity. Anyatra dharmat, anyatra adharmat. So there is dharma, and dharma means what? What should be done. Dharyate. Dharyate means that which upholds the whole Jagat. Pujya Swamiji beautifully translated it as the universal matrix of norms. The universal matrix of norms which cannot all the time be encapsulated in laws. Many of them are there in the form of laws. But some things you cannot really catch. How many laws are you going to make? And because some of them are about what is appropriate and what is inappropriate rather than right and wrong. So dharma becomes the first purushartha because it is dear to one. Even if somebody were to say, you're mistaken, I am not very fond of dharma. Even if somebody were to say that. Like, for example, an offender. Somebody who is given to stealing. Let's say you approach that person and say, dharma is universally loved. That person may beg to differ. No, I don't like dharma at all. But the person given to stealing, let somebody go and steal from him or her. What will happen? The person will be outraged. In America, we have a section in some of the news channels called dumb criminals. Yeah. And, there is one thing I remember. Many such stories are there. One of them is that two fellows had some kind of a falling out. They were up to no good. Fellow number one said, I have mal. Mal means what? Drugs, something illegal to sell. And fellow number two said, I have contacts. You have mal, I have contacts. We are meant to be together. Yes, it is our prarabdha to be together. But any pact between thieves is just very short-lived. So the one who had mal also had a lot of ideas. he mixed a little bit of that mal in this person's drink and made the other fellow unconscious. And then what? Took all his contacts, list of contacts and everything from the pocket. And then when the other fellow came to, he had neither mal nor contacts. He was so outraged. He called 911, which in America is the emergency number. He called the police. And he said, oh, we were in this partnership. And this fellow has been mean to me. This fellow has been mean to me and he has made off with the mal for which I had paid, and I had the contacts. He has made off with the contacts also. Guess who went to jail? Yeah. That is why dharma is very lovable. And adharma we do not like. This becomes a very important dyad in this conversation. And so then, with great difficulty, we start following dharma. We start being one with dharma. And then here, Nachiketa says, what? Show me that which is not bound by either dharma or adharma. Anyatra. Dharmad anyatra. Other than dharma and other than adharma, what is there? You tell me that. Because dharma is what? It is a matrix of norms. And again, if you have seen the movie Matrix, this is exactly what it is. Matrix that keeps us within the framework of time, within the framework of space, within the framework of the popular understanding of shoulds and should nots. Vyasa, Lord Vyasa's son, was a sage by the name of Shuka. There is one Shukashtakam. The refrain of this Shukashtakam is Ko vidhihi, ko nishedhaha. Vidhi means injunctions. To do. You must get up at this time in the morning. You must go to temple. You must perform charity. You must give this. You must not do that. These are all called injunctions. Vedic injunctions. Vidhi. And then ko nishedhaha. Nishedhaha means Vedic prohibitions. Don't do this. Suram na pibet. Do not drink alcohol. There is no small print except on weekends. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. हाँ, do not drink alcohol, period. Kalanjam na bhakshayet. Do not eat meat. All these things are called nishedha vakyas. Vidhi vakyas, vidhi para vakyas, vakyas that are devoted to injunctions, and nishedha para vakyas, vakyas that are committed to prohibitions. For the jnani, there are no injunctions and no prohibitions. So that means the jnani is into adharma. No. That jnani has become dharma. Dharma has become the jnani. Jnani has become the embodiment of dharma and will not do ullanghanam, will not transgress that, and in a way has crossed the need to constantly be reminded this is to do, this is not to do. So anyatra dharma. So dharma has no meaning for the person who is dharma. Yavan artha udapane sarvatas samplutodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanatah. Dharma, which is the subject matter of the first portion of the Veda, which is full of injunctions and prohibitions, has no more meaning, the Bhagavad Gita in the second chapter says. Has no more meaning as the person who is surrounded by water, as the well has meaning for the person surrounded by water. So supposing the person had a favorite well. Tatasya kupaha. This is my ancestral well. Father's well, grandfather's well, great-grandfather's well. Let's say there is an ancestral well or grandmother's well. Either way you can take. I want to drink from this well because it has sweet water. And that person goes to that well only. Then let us say there is a flash flood and the whole village is full of water. Does the tatasya kupaha, does the well of the ancestors have any meaning? No. You can't even see it. You can't even find it. So similarly, for the person who has mastered the Vedas, mastered this, the whole idea of injunctions and prohibitions, then it is time to graduate from that. It is time to move on. Because the knowledge of the self floods one with an understanding that one is everything. There is nothing outside of myself. So dharma, adharma are included in what we call Brahman, in what we call Ishwara. But then we cannot say, while we can say that dharma is Ishwara, dharma is nothing but Ishwara. But Ishwara transcends dharma, adharma, this divide that is there given as a way to cultivate self-growth and cultivate the readiness for this knowledge. Nachiketa at age 8 or something already knew this. Anyatra asmat kritat akritat. Kritat means that which is the result of action. Karma, punya, akritat, that which is papa. So dharma and adharma give rise to what? Papa and punya respectively. So if I am stuck on dharma and adharma, then I will also be stuck on what? Punya, papa. That becomes another dyad. Punya, papa becomes another dyad, which that is 2 more bars of the cage that keeps me safely in Atma Ajnana. Punya, what is punya? Comfortable situations for dharmic actions done either here or in other lives. Asmin janmani janmantare va. Then what is papa? Uncomfortable situations which I encounter done in this or other lives. And what is the human tendency? To go seek comfort and then run away from discomfort. This again keeps us in this cage. So direct corollary to dharma, adharma is punya and papa. Another dyad, which Nachiketa knew is temporary, is not permanent. Because what happens to punya? Yes, the 9th chapter itself will tell us. Kshine punye martyalokam dhadamiti vishanti. Emphasis added. So, when the punya goes, Indraloka also goes. And then let's say you tell Indra, please, I want a selfie with you, please. And you take out your, what should I say, heavenly camera, because this mobile won't work. It will not go. It will become immobile. It will not work. So let's say one has enough punya to gain a mobile in heaven. And so you have put your arm around Indra and you're about to click. In that moment, the punya gone. Then what? Yes. That's why perhaps all newborn babies cry. I was just about to take a selfie. What am I doing here? So, punya, ephemeral, time-bound. Papa also, thankfully, time-bound. If one is having a flood of emotions, somebody did this, somebody did that, and other people's omissions are troubling me, other people's commissions are troubling me. Some people lament, this person did not even look at me, and therefore I am upset. Another person is upset because the other person looked at me. Why are they looking at me? What is wrong with them? So, so this way, the omissions and commissions of others become bars, another two bars of the cage of Atma Ajnanam, where I find myself imprisoned, sadly imprisoned. So then other people's omissions and commissions, and then what? My own omissions and commissions, which lead to guilt and hurt. My own commissions, guilt, other people's omissions and commissions, hurt. These all becomes various bars of the cage. Nachiketa knew this very, very, very well. Then time itself, the past and the future, become bars of another two bars of the cage. We can really draw a nice little cell. Past and future. Past is the source of lament. Kimaham sadhu na karavam, kimaham papamakaravamiti. Iti. Why did I do the wrong thing? Why didn't I do the right thing? See, translated along with swaras for you. These are the another two bars of the cage. Why? Why did I do this? Why didn't I do that? That is again, along with punya and papa, there is the concept of past. Past. That past is come to haunt me. That past is going to get me. This was my karma. God only knows what I did. And to help us, the whole Sri Rudram is given in this way only. Bhagavan as a hunter with the bow and arrow. The arrow is karma phala. The target is who? Who is the target? Oneself alone. So therefore one starts Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. And then Bhagavan starts to look very angry because I am afraid of my own karma phala. I have a, what is that called? Anthropomorphization, I believe is the word, long word, but it just means thinking, projection on Bhagavan as a human being. So I have an anthropomorphization of Bhagavan, and what do I say? You look mad. You look really angry. So therefore what? Namaste to your anger. Namaste Rudra Manyave. Utota Ishave Namaha. Namaste to those arrows. Those arrows are my karma phala. Namaskar to them. Surrender to them. Sashtanga Namaskara to them. And then the arrow is connected to what? Dhanuhu. Namaste Dhanvane. And the dhanu is connected to what? These strong arms with rippling biceps, triceps, deltoid, all the other muscles whose names I don't know. They are all there. So unto those strong arms which are holding the bow, which is the arrow poised to target me. Namaha te, namaha tubhyam, namaha, namaha, namaha. That is my own fear. That is making, it's a beautiful prayer. It's just lovely to understand it deeply, really. Because even though I begin at a very, very rudimentary place of being afraid of Bhagavan, anthropomorphizing Bhagavan, each time I say the word Namaha, there is a transcendence. There is a transcendence. Because whenever the word Namaha is uttered or even heard, it is the equivalent of the one who is besought by limitations. The limited jiva or the jiva who thinks I am fully limited, completely limited, paying obeisance to the limitless. When the limited surrenders to the limitless, what happens? What is there? Only the limitless. When a small tributary mixes up with a river, there is no more tributary, there is only river. That is exactly how it is here. So that's why the Sri Rudram is very beautiful. But coming back to the context, past. The past becomes fearful like an arrow targeting me. And then let's say by a magic wand, Bhagavan does some maya and says, okay, no more past. I have made the repast of the past. Let's say Bhagavan comes and says that, will we be happy? No. Why? There is the future to worry about. What will happen? What will my children do? You have no idea, neither have I. But what is the use of thinking about it? What will happen to my property? Thankfully, that is none of the business, none of our business. After one is gone, what happens to the property is none of our business. But still that fear is there. Will the children get along? Arey Baba, even when you were alive, they were not getting along. Why will they get along after you go? How will they get along? So, this is how the future becomes a big looming source of fear. Past is the source of sorrow and the future becomes the source of anxiety, fear. So that's why Nachiketa says, Anyatra bhutat cha bhavyat cha. Chakarat, even the present is included. That will come to later. Right now, let us just look at the past and the future. If you are worrying about the past, when is that happening? Now, yeah. Now means what? Present. If you are anxious about that future, when are you anxious? No, not in the future. In fact, there is no future. Future is, aposhanam has been done to the future. Future is what? Gone. I can't say future is a thing of the past. But future is gone, swallowed up. Eka poshanam. In one sip, it's swallowed up. What about the past? When I understand that I'm lamenting now, I'm regretting now, the past is also what? Swallowed up. All that is there is now. Now is Bhagavan, now is the content of me, Shuddha Chaitanya. This is exactly what Nachiketa asks for. So the bars of the cage is where we have to turn to now. Each and every bar of the cage is made with these kinds of dyads that we have discussed in detail. This is what Atma Ajnanasya Prasadaha. It's almost like a gift of Avidya, Atma Ajnanam. The more I am into divisions, the more I look at the world with the eyes of division, with divided vision. The vision of Vedanta, which is a vision of no division, continues to elude me. This is what we have to understand. So the Maya Panchakam has a very important place in making us see this extremely clearly. And it is a beautiful set of verses which does khandanam. Khandanam means a critique, which criticizes or which is a critique in itself of some of these popular notions of divisions. And the meter, in fact, she cannot even, this whole Maya Panchaka cannot even be completely put in a meter, which is its allure. But the closest meter to which it comes is Mrigendra Mukham meter. It's very easy to find out meter. You can Google Sanskrit meter identifier and you get a, yeah, don't think I'm that scholarly or anything. Yeah. So, Sanskrit meter identifier, and then you just Google that, and then MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and some other places has these meters, meter identifier. But then you have to unerroneously, without making a single mistake, type the whole one verse in that, and then it spits out the meter. And when I used 3 meter identifiers to see, what would be the nishkarsha, what would be the decision, and in each and every one it says, not quite this, not quite that, but it comes very close to Mrigendra Mukham. Mriga means what? Deer. Mrigendra, Indra, king. Mrigendra, king of the deers. Doesn't mean a big deer or an elk or something like that. Lion, king of the forest. Mukha means what? Mouth. Very appropriately, it has been termed, the meter has been termed the lion's mouth. Mrigendra Mukham. Can anything escape the lion's mouth? Very, very difficult. That exactly is the Maya which is not properly understood. An improperly understood Maya is what puts me in her spell. That is what is the problem here. The problem is a misunderstood Maya, and then that is why it is looked upon, the word Maya is looked upon with great fear, with great trepidation. Everybody is afraid of it. Everybody is far away. Keep me far away from Maya. I want to cross Maya. And then Mrigendra Mukha meter. Many meters are there. This is not very, it's not very famous or not much used. But the famous ones are the ones we see in the Bhagavad Gita. Anushtup, Trishtup, and then in the Dakshinamurti Stotram, Shardula Vikridita. A baby tiger, I imagine this to be like a baby tiger at play. A baby tiger, not a care in the world, is chasing butterflies and it just goes like this, like this. That's how it is, got a lilting, lilting tone to it. Vishvandarpana drishyamana nagari tulyam nijantargatam. You see that. You can, when you chant it with the eyes closed, you can visualize the tiger at play. So here is Mrigendra Mukha, and what characterizes this meter? I have to talk a little bit about the nature of Sanskrit prosody to give you the ruchi or the rasa of the meter. In Sanskrit prosody, we have laghu and guru. Laghu means what? Short syllable, like ni, laghu, ni, guru. Here don't say guru means Brahma Vidya Upadesha Karta. No, here guru is neuter guru. Guru means big, laghu, small. So this laghu guru, in a way it is very straightforward. Anything that is hrasva is laghu, and anything that is dirgha is guru. And then in addition, certain things also are guru. Like when a vowel is followed by a conjunct consonant, even if the vowel is a short vowel, it is counted as guru. because you stop there. Like Rama Prasadaha. Rama Prasada, there is that dvitvam, there is that doubling when we chant. We don't say Rama Prasada, Rama Prasadaha. So it becomes Guru. Then whenever there is Anuswara, that is also Guru. Visarga, Guru. So like this, the whole thing is Laghu Guru, and various combinations of Laghu Guru in the whole syllabic structure. And then here, very interesting, because this is different from English prosody, because in English prosody we have the stressed and the unstressed. Sanskrit doesn't have that stresses. We only have Laghu Guru. So what is something which is interesting about the Mrigendra Mukha meter is that it starts with Laghu, 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 Laghu. 4 Laghu syllables. Very difficult to compose. Where to find 4 Laghu syllables? You have to scratch the head. You have to admire the person. In this case, it's attributed to Adi Shankara. You have to admire the poet for the scholarship, the finesse, and the ability to bring forth the words. So mostly Laghu, little bit Guru, peppered with Guru. And the Laghu syllables seem very, very unpowerful. Not very powerful, soft. And this is how Atma Ajnanam comes into the life. It doesn't come alone, along with its brood. Very softly, like paddy paws, cat, Cat entering the house, you won't tell. Dog entering, everybody knows. Even the neighbor knows that your dog has come home. Cat entering, you don't know. So Ajnanam has a sneaky after effect. One is born in Ajnanam, but then the Ajnanam itself morphs into, only in the case of human beings, we'll see that, only in the case of human beings, the Ajnanam morphs into these cat-like various iterations, broods. That's why it says, that's why we have a popular saying, what is that? Avidya, Kama, Karma, Shrinkhala. Here the bars of the cage have been converted into a chain, Shrinkhala, a ball and a chain, which was an ancient way of keeping the people who had done wrong things immobilized in one place so that they don't escape and run away. So what is the chain? The chain is Kama, Karma, etc., etc. So if we were to do what is that called? Family tree of Avidya. Very interesting. Avidya, great matriarch. Okay? And then what? Avidya does not allow one to keep quiet, especially if one has a human mind. Avidya will absolutely not allow one to sit silently, because there is Ajnanam, and then which everybody has. All the jivas, all the jantus have Ajnanam, but because in the human being consciousness, self-awareness is unfettered, a gift of Bhagavan. Unfettered awareness of myself, and everything becomes evident to me. Because of that unfettered awareness, I am free enough to come to wrong conclusions about myself. Ajnanam, and the other one is called Anyatha Jnanam. Ajnanam everybody has. Even the dog does not know there is a spelling mistake. It should be G-O-D, not D-O-G. It doesn't know that. Yet it seems to be happier than most of the people. You take a walk here on the Ganga, and I really feel like all the dogs should have a board. Beware of super affectionate dog. Yes. I don't make eye contact with any dog, because then it's all over. They just come and they just fling themselves on you. They are happier than most of the people, really speaking. And then Swami Viditatmanandaji once said, he was told, Swamiji, you said the dogs are very happy, and I have a dog that is extremely depressed. Swamiji said, what should I do, Swamiji? And Swamiji said, let me ask you a question. How long has it been with you? So, that's the only question to ask. If you say, my chinchilla, my cat is depressed, my dog is depressed, my tarantula, people keep all kinds of pets, Yeah, tarantula means dangerous spider. My tarantula is depressed. How long it's been with you? That's the only question to ask. There is sahavasa dosha, You have rubbed off on that poor animal. So this way, the ajnana, for the dog and the cat, it is just ajnana. There is no anyatha jnanam. The rope snake problem only comes for the human mind, for the human being, whose buddhi is so unfettered that it is free enough to judge others and to judge itself. Back to the family tree. If we do a family tree of Atma Ajnanam, so first we have Ajnanam or Avidya. Avidya has an offspring. If Avidya had an offspring, his name would be Kama. Kama means desire, binding, unfettered desire. A desire that is very strong, strong preferences, which make one feel weak in front of them. Strong preferences come because of the sense of incompleteness, because of a sense of I am not enough. I need this to become enough. Swamiji talked about the life of becoming this morning. I have to become this in order to be enough. So this is Kama. Avidya gives rise to Kama. Even animals have few desires, but they are just few. Unfulfilled, they are okay, but not for us. Kama then has a son. What is his name? No, don't go there, okay? Yeah, that's a different family tree. Here we are talking of a different family. Kama makes one want to act. Karma would be the son of Kama. Avidya, Kama, then Karma. Because if there is a desire, like, oh, I suddenly feel like having what? Ice cream, yes. Oh no, Amul store closes at 11 and this class is also till 11. And especially after saying this, now I can't even go out. What should I do? What should I do? I don't know if the Amul store closes at 11, okay? I haven't even gone there, but just as an example. So then, this is the Avidya, then Kama. The Kama makes me want to act. Why to act? To fulfill the Kama. I have to fulfill the desire. An unfulfilled desire, Pujya Swamiji used to say, is a cause of frustration. How many people want to be frustrated? Nobody. I don't want to be frustrated. Therefore, I will do everything in my power to act on this Kama. So the karma becomes the offspring of Kama. Karma is the offspring of Kama. And then karma also has offspring. Don't go Kama, Krodha. That's a different family tree. We can look at it later if you want, okay? Yeah. So, right now, this is a different family tree. All right. So Kama and then Karma. What is the offspring of Karma? Karma Phala. Karma has twins, Papa Punya. Karma has twins, Papa Punya, and then Papa Punya leads to what? Punarjanma, rebirth. This is the family tree of Avidya. comes in brood. So ajnanam, which is our capital, one is born with ajnanam. One is born with, in fact, we can even say two kinds of ajnanam. What are these two kinds of ajnanam? Ajnanam with regard to I, and then ajnanam with regard to everything else, which is not I. Dvau hi padarthau, atma anatmanau. Dvau hi padarthau. Only two things are there in this universe. One is I, the namer of everything else, the cognizer, the pointer of everything else. I spy with my little eyes this thing, that thing. The children play this game. So, I, and then everything that I objectify, not I. I am ignorant of both. This is my capital when I am born. When I am born, I have not I ignorance. Small baby doesn't even know who the father is, who the mother is. You just pick it up, it will come to you. It trusts everybody, everything. It is helpless. It doesn't know this is my mummy. Same child you visit 6 months later and you go like this, come to me. It will say, who are you? This is my mother. This is my father. Who are you? You look suspicious. And in fact, I'm going to start a siren and warn the whole family that you should not be allowed in the house. So, what has happened in the 6 months? Anatma, some of the anatma ignorance has dropped. Mother ignorance dropped. Father ignorance dropped. And the one who keeps pulling my hair is my elder sibling. That's ignorance. Elder sibling ignorance dropped. Like this, anatma ignorance keeps dropping, 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 all our lives. How does it drop? Automatically, just by living. Just by living, anatma ignorance keeps dropping, keeps dropping. What about atma ignorance? That also keeps dropping, yes? No. That you have to choose. And as Swamiji said in the morning class, you have to ask for this knowledge, you have to choose this knowledge. Atma ignorance does not drop on its own. That is why it's a very, very costly ignorance. Anatma ignorance drops on its own. Child just has to grow up. When it goes to school, ABCD ignorance dropped. E ignorance dropped. When it goes further, grows further, civics ignorance dropped. Geography ignorance dropped. But then Atma ignorance one harbors, even though one may be Einstein. One still harbors Atma ignorance, and as long as one is harboring Atma ignorance, all the broods of this Atma ignorance that we talked about, Kama, then what else? Don't say Krodha, okay? Yeah. Karma, Karma Phala, Punarjanma, they are all just specters hovering in the background. It's a package deal. Whether you want it or not, it comes in a whole bunch. And so, each thing I cannot tackle by itself. What do I have to tackle? Ajnanam. And this Ajnanam, another name for it, given in the Shastra from the standpoint of the Jiva is Maya. How? We will see that in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Thank you.